Hi, welcome to LearnApps. Now we are going to see how to create a legal entity. Yes, it is simple. The idea is to share the architecture behind a legal entity and how it is different. And there are challenges that people are facing as a new requirement. Say example, linking multiple legal entity to single operating unit. And it's a new model, of course. Okay, we will discuss a little bit in detail the architecture behind the legal entity. Also, we plan to share almost around 30 to 35 different modules in EBS. So we thought that we need to create anyway legal entity and ledgers. Why don't we share whatever we create from the scratch? So the users, whoever is going to watch this video, will learn or can practice based on this video everything from the scratch. Okay, the legal entity. Legal entity is there are two different entity model in R12 compared to 11i. In R12, we have got a legal entity that is XLE owned by, and another one is GRE, government reporting entity. It's the same as 11i. If you know 11i, it is same as 11i. GRE is owned by HRMS model, HR, and LE is only for financials. There is no link between these two entity model. Now, legal entity, creation of legal entity. Legal entity can be created through a LEC, that is legal entity configurator. That's what you are seeing it on the screen. Just go to legal entity, create a legal entity, or you can use ASM. That is nothing but accounting setup manager. What you are seeing it here, this account setup manager. Yes, the same place where you are going to create a ledger. We are going to see later. Yeah, this is the place you can create a legal entity. Okay. What is a legal entity? Legal entity, we all know that it's a company. The company which is responsible for creation of transactions, making the payment, collecting the receipts, paying the tax, maintaining the receipts, and paying salaries, expenses, etc. Company can have multiple addresses. One address can belong to a legal corporate address, another for statutory address, another for where the operation is taking place, like operating unit. The address can be linked. We are going to see that as well. Not on the same video, everything. So we try to break down the video as much as possible so the users can learn or can open the video what is relevant to them or what they need instead of dumping everything on one video. This video is only for creation of legal entity and understand the architecture behind the legal entity. Okay, back to the legal entity creation. Legal entity, whenever we are creating it's a unique thing. Legal entity is closely related to two different areas. One is TCA, Trading Community Architecture. Whenever we are creating an organization, system creates the image as a party in HZ party table. That is, whatever the name we are creating, it will go to TCA, but whatever we are going to create as an address, legal entity address, will go to HR. It's only it will go to HR locations all table. We are going to see. Okay, now let us go to legal entity configurator. Create a legal entity. We can create a legal entity and link the address or create the new address, or we can create an address first. We can go to address bar. We can create address and link it there, or we can do everything at the same place. Okay, now let us create a legal entity. The territory, of course, a small topic, and yes, user may know that. The territory, we can see only the territory for which Oracle has created jurisdictions. If there is no jurisdictions, the architecture does not have a jurisdictions, then we cannot see a territory here. One of the famous example is Ireland. Say example, you are selecting the Ireland, Ireland cannot be seen because there is no Ireland jurisdictions. But if you say any other country, United Kingdom or United States, you are able to see. Okay, So based on your updates, we will create a video for Ireland as well if required later. Now we are going to create a legal entity for United Kingdom. A legal entity name. A name is nothing but a real company name. So don't link it to the balancing segment values. Yes, there'll be a multiple balancing segment values you may have in your company. And it is not necessary that you need to create a legal entity for each and every values. It depends on the business requirement. There's no hard and fast rule that you have to create or you should not create. It depends on the business requirement. If there are transactions to be created using these legal entities, you have to create a legal entity for each and every balance segment values. If you are going to use BSV, balancing segment value, only as a accounting combinations in a window whenever you are creating a transaction, example, you are creating a payable invoice, you are going to use only as a value, then you don't need to create a separate legal entities. Okay, we will see it later in detail one by one when you are going to go in the transactional videos. Now, a legal entity, we are going to create a simple legal entity now. Organization name. Why we need two names? One is a legal entity name, another is organization name. What is the fun? Actually, it's a duplicate. The structure wise, it's not required here based on my experience. But where it is being used, if you are going to create an organization name here, system will create an image, system will create a record. I'll use the correct word. System will create a record, insert the record in HZ party table. So it will be useful when we are going to use the AGIS. That's a new model. We are going to see that as well later. So organization name, I just show you how it is being created in HZ party table. This is the place where I refer that system is linked to TCA as well, trading community architecture. Parties, supplier, customers, employees, organizations, all known as parties. So organization name, we have created as a Sparksoft. We see that how it is being linked. Then LEI, a legal entity identifier. You can mention any number, but the practical purposes, we are trying to give you as much as possible based on our real implementation experience, how this is being handled. Okay. And I tell you in advance, in EBS, based on our experience, minimum 2 to 3 different way we can do it. There is no one single solution. We can do 2 to 3 different way. If you are going to come to AME or EB tax, can be handled even 4 to 5 different ways. It's a more flexible. Minimum 2 to 3 different way we can do it. So the example what we are showing here, based on what most of the clients are, how we are using it for most of the clients. Okay, legal entity identifier. What people are asking is the client use LEI, legal entity identifier underscore, or you can give a space, or you can continue, use the segment values. Say example, the Sparksoft is a company. You are going to use the 01 as a value, then use this company value here. This is for tracking purposes, and it's a little bit of meaningful as well. Okay, and company number is a real company number. Whenever you are going to create in any country, in UK, whenever you are going to create a company or form a company in HMRC, you will get a company number. It's similar for any other country. Type the exact company number. Okay, now here address, you can create an address or you can select the existing address. We are going to create a new address and we'll see how it is being handled in HR location all table as well. Now the address we are creating, now if you see that in the UK the postcode is mandatory. There's no state, city, county, there's no province like any other country like Canada or USA. The postcode is mandatory. Here we are seeing postcode is not mandatory. We will see that how postcode is getting mandatory. We will see that as well. How it is being linked to HRMS table, HR descriptive flex field. Now we have created a legal entity. Just save the records. Now you say that you have successfully created a new legal entity called Swagsoft. Now go to HZ parties. This is the table. We have created an organization name. If you see that, we have created an organization name as Swagsoft. If you see that in the table, the party name, you can see that the party name has been created as a Swagsoft. The location code, we have created a location. The location code, okay, the London location code is arrow. We can see that it has been created, address got created in a location table, but the company name got created in a HEZ party owned by TC Architecture. And this is the simple way of creating the legal entity. Now we are going to see how to make postcode as a mandatory. We have seen that postcode was not mandatory. Now just go to descriptive flux field, call address, that is nothing but a location address, disable, go to segments, select your the structures. Structure is a United Kingdom. Here, go here, keep the cursor on the segment whatever you want, open this window, there's a required field. If you make it as a record, then it is mandatory. We just save the records, see, compile it. Once you have compiled it, ensure that request is successfully completed. Now go to Legal Entity Manager. We cannot see the mandatory checkbox immediately because we need to clear the cache. I'm just showing it to you. So if you create a new address, you just see that still it is not mandatory. What we have to do is to clear the cache, or you are forced to wait for 5 to 10 minutes time. Easiest way is go to Functional Administrator, go to Core Services, Cache Framework, Global Configuration, clear all caches, say yes, and it's completed. Close the window. Now if you go back to Legal Entity Configurator or ASM, Accounting Setup Manager, if you create a legal entity for territory United Kingdom, click the new address. Now the postcode should be mandatory. Okay, this is the one way. It can be applied for any number of fields or any fields based on the business requirement. Okay, it differs from country to country. If it is a USA state, city, county, and Canada province, and UK, if the postcode required, yes, clients are asking postcodes, they need mandatory. Okay, the second point is you can type what are the postcode you want here, example, but you want to restrict to, say example, if I type like this, system will accept, but this is not a real postcode. You want to have a validation for the postcode. This is the place where TCA is going to come in place. If you go to TSEA, go to Trading Community Manager. I'm just adding that responsibility, Trading Community Manager. I'm just calling my username, add Trading Committee Manager. If we go to Trading Committee Manager, go to Administrator, Geography, where is that? Yeah, call your, okay, again the same cache issues because it's a HTML Java JSP page. So core services, cache framework, global configurations, clear all caches, say yes. It's good, completed. Go to Trading Community Manager back. Trading Community, Administrations, Geography Hierarchy. Call your country code. Country code is a United Kingdom is a GB. There's no structure. There's no structure. We just lock the structures. Select the postcode. Say go. It is not enabled. What it means? So we don't need to maintain any hierarchy. TC hierarchy here. You want to have it. You need to create a code. You have to create a code. If I go and create a code for postcode, and if you create a custom value set, I'll link the value set against descriptive flexible segment, call the address, location address, GBCO style, and I'll link the value set code here. Create a custom value set code and link it here. So whenever you're going to create a legal entity addresses, whenever you're going to type or select the values, system will force you to select the valid values. So we have seen that it's a two type of model, and that is a LE and GRE, owned by two different entities, HR and financials, and name are stored in HZ location, address are being stored in HR locations and all table, and descriptive flexible we have seen how it is being linked, and why we are creating organization name instead of apart from a legal entity name, legal entity, that also we have seen. We have seen that how to clear the cache. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions, please raise your questions. We are happy to help you as soon as possible. Please post your comment as well. Go through our training schedule. If you need any assistance in training, please buy the product whatever you feel right. Thanks again. Thanks for watching this video.